Sir Roger Bannister breaks the 4-minute mile. Neil Armstrong allegedly takes man's first steps on the moon. John Kellogg invents cereal to stop people from masturbating. And now, the list of important events in human history that no one will ever forget has a new addition, because I managed to have a couple good meals in Little Rock, Arkansas. So let's do this shit. The Buttered Biscuit is a restaurant concept developed right here in Arkansas by Anna and Steve, whoever that is. Specializing in Southern-inspired breakfast, their restaurant empire started in Bentonville and has expanded to 6 locations, including one at this outdoor mall place in Little Rock, where some friends and I went for brunch. We tried to eat there once before, but were immediately turned away by a considerable crowd waiting to be seated. So if you want to check this place out, I would definitely recommend joining the waitlist before you get there, which we did and which was very convenient. In my previous video, I explained the concept of the breakfast spectrum, which contains a brunch end and a diner end, and the Buttered Biscuit definitely falls on the brunch side of things. But here's the thing, it's a damn good brunch. We started with a basket of biscuits and some butters to sample, and while I'm not a Rhodes Scholar when it comes to Southern buttermilk biscuits, I've had some better and plenty worse. The butters were also a neat gimmick and most were tasty, but one of them, the Onyx Espresso Butter, I have genuinely had experiences involving hallucinogenic drugs that were less bizarre. No, coffee and butter simply do not work. You can't win them all, and this one missed pretty hard. We then collectively sampled a selection of brunch fare, including an Eggs Benedict, pancakes, and some dumbass fried chicken sandwich, because I guess every restaurant everywhere has to have one of these. First, the Southern Style Benny, which, by the way, I fucking hate that as a short term for Benedict. Seriously, do we have to baby talk everything? Are 3 syllables really too much for you people? You make me sick! This was pretty tasty, though for the life of me I don't understand why any restaurant can't just cook a slice of ham without turning it into a brake pad. The pancakes were the Leela Lemon Cakes, Lemon, which were blueberry pancakes topped with a lemon curd and whipped cream. And they were fucking delicious. Normally I'm a pancake purist, but lemon and blueberry hit so hard. Those were great. And the dumbass fried chicken sandwich came on a biscuit and was topped with exactly what you would expect a trendy hipster dildo spot to use. Bacon jam, pimento cheese, and zucchini pickles. It was tasty, it was perfectly fine, I'm only making fun of how predictable restaurants are. But here's the thing. At first blush, the Buttered Biscuit embodies everything about restaurants that I personally hate. I like things simple, well executed, classic. Not a basket of biscuits with an assortment of flavored butters that wouldn't feel out of place at a British tea time. But the Buttered Biscuit is just damn good. And not just the food either. The service there is genuinely outstanding. We went there on a slammin' Sunday and I just sat back and marveled at watching the place run like a well-oiled machine. This place is everything that places like Big Bad Breakfast and others aspire to be. I can't recommend them enough, and I'm giving them a 7.1 out of 10. Zaza, or I guess Zsa, is a pizza joint, and just as I have a spectrum for breakfast spots, I also have one for pizza joints. See, many people my age have fond memories of going to Pizza Hut and getting a personal pan pizza or maybe even the buffet. But I don't have those because I grew up around actual pizza and the corner shops. A corner shop is a place you went after school where a first or second generation Italian immigrant with crusty elbows served you a reheated slice. You could also get hoagies, grinders, or cheesesteaks there, and the pizza was awesome. But you wouldn't know about any of that here in the South because your pizza is abject dog shit. On the opposite end of the spectrum is the hipster pizza. A hipster pizza can be identified by charging $15 for a salad, $30 for a fucking pizza loaded with way too many toppings, half of which you wouldn't even notice if they weren't there, or if you simply see the words hot honey on their menu. Zsa is the embodiment of a wannabe trending hipster pizza spot. And shit, the food there isn't even bad. We went there and I got a damn fine Caesar salad and a perfectly respectable margarita pie. Neapolitan isn't my favorite style, and I think wood oven cooked pizza is autistically overrated, but it was all tasty and fine. The problem is, in no world should this meal cost $45 fucking dollars. Are you on crack? A food that was literally conceived to be cheap, sloppy eats. Get the fuck out of here. Zsa Pizza clearly has an audience, but it ain't me, babe. Good pizza doesn't need to be anywhere near this complicated or costly, and I'm giving them a 5.8. Okay, I'm gonna try my best not to be offensive here, but Mrs. Radin and I went to check out Tamal Cali. And before doing any research, I 100% thought this place was either a chain I hadn't heard of, or at least part of some kind of local corporate restaurant. And I say that because both the exterior and interior were very clean. Or not clean, but like clean cut, sharp. I mean, it never occurred to me that this was just a single local location, but apparently it is. Tamal Cali started as a food truck in Little Rock in 2010, before opening up a brick-and-mortar operation in 2022. Firstly, I want to talk about the name of the business because Tamal Cali is one of the dumbest fucking restaurant names I've ever heard. Yes, I understand it's a portmanteau of the words tamale and California, denoting that they specialize in tamales and California Mexican cuisine. But that's also the stupidest way of expressing that. It doesn't look like a word anyone would pronounce correctly by guessing it, and it sounds like a weird mashup of a high school prom king and queen. Why not Tamalifornia? Wait, no, that's terrible too. Forget I said that. We went there and sampled an order of their quesadilla tacos and some of their namesake tamales. Now, if you don't know the lore of the quesadilla taco, it emerged out of the famed LA food truck wars, where hundreds of competing Mexican food trucks, all vying to go viral, invent ever-escalating dishes that don't exist anywhere in Mexico. We Americans love cheese, so one of them took burrito tacos, threw a bunch of cheese on it, grilled it like a grilled cheese, and the dish was born. And Tamal Calis are pretty tasty. I personally think the dip on the side isn't needed and is sloppy, but the meat was super flavorful. It was chopped and prepared well so you didn't have long, stringy meat fibers slapping you on the chin. And it was a satisfying eat. The tamales were pretty decent too. The green chili pork one was especially tasty, but the chicken mole was a little bit disappointing, if only for purporting to contain mole sauce, which if it did, it was bland. We even capped off our meal with some churros, which were delightful, but to be fair, I don't think it's even possible to make a churro that isn't awesome. Overall, a fairly decent experience with good customer service. Definitely better than most of the Mexican joints we've hit while kicking around Arkansas, so I'm giving Tamal Cali, which is still a stupid name, a 6.5. Just a stone's throw away from the Buttered Biscuit in that weird outdoor mall is Big Orange, a self-described upscale burger concept founded in Little Rock in 2011. Now, when I say upscale, I mean that they pay a few pennies more for arugula than iceberg lettuce, and they splash truffle oil around like a sorority car wash. And if you don't know, truffle oil has never been within the same area code as an actual truffle, so you're essentially eating perfume. We went there and ordered a burger, a chicken sandwich, an order of fries, and a milkshake. And when the cashier told us our total, I thought to myself how in any just world I could have them all arrested for robbery or possibly extortion. Let's be real with one another when it comes to burgers. My contention is that a cheeseburger, as a food, has a high floor and a low ceiling. That means that the worst burger you've ever had probably wasn't that bad, but also that the best burger you've ever had probably wasn't that great. I contend that burgers, while I appreciate them, aren't anywhere close to, say, a great bowl of pasta, or a gumbo, or barbecue. I'm pontificating that an upscale burger is almost an oxymoron, like a top-shelf malt liquor or a high-class tramp stamp. A burger is the sort of food that only gets worse the more you mess with it, and Big Orange is the embodiment of that mistake. Their food is tasty, yes, but no more tasty than the same meal you could get anywhere and not pay out the ass for. It's no better than a trip to David's or whatever your favorite burger stand is. To summarize, Big Orange is less than 100 yards from the Buttered Biscuit, costs about the same, but are nowhere near as good an experience. Just overpriced truffle slop and a 4.5 out of 10. I want to talk a little bit about passion, that driving force that exists within some but not all of us. Passion is what drives a dedicated few to pursue the optimal form of whatever inspires them. And if you're wondering just what the hell I'm talking about, it's croissants. And I'm talking about croissants because if you've ever tried to make them from scratch, then you know it takes passion to make a truly great croissant. Seriously, making a good laminated dough is harder than telling your baseball coach that you don't want to shower with him anymore. What I'm arriving at is that most restaurants and eateries are producing food that doesn't take a ton of skill. There's not much to flipping a burger or scooping some meat into a tortilla, or even putting a hunk of meat into a smoker. Croissants are a discipline, an exercise in craftsmanship, or I guess in this case, craftswomanship, something which Mrs. Radin and I went to experience at the Croissantery. We went there on a Sunday morning and were greeted to a line that extended out the door. But fret not, because just as I said earlier when describing the buttered biscuit, the croissanterie is run like a well-oiled machine. But we didn't know that, see? So my thought was just to order a couple items that wouldn't take long since we had some errands to run. But before long, we were settled into a table with an array of breakfast sandwiches, a couple iced coffees, and even a jalapeno cheddar kolache for good measure. And holy shit, was this ever special. Because these croissants were precisely what any Parisian would call perfection. Flaky, buttery perfection. They were, in my humble opinion, a destination food. Something more than worth the wait on a bustling Sunday morning. My only regret is that I hadn't settled and sampled some of their proper breakfast items. But that is a mistake I will rectify in time, because the croissanterie is doing some seriously incredible work here in Little Rock, and I am giving them an 8.7 out of 10. That's gonna do it for this go around. Here's the current top 5 and bottom 5. Sorry I didn't get shit on as much, but there's always next time. Catch you in the next one, and I'll see you when I see you.